back to my channel. My name is Marissa for those of you new here, and thank you so much for watching. In today's video, we are taking a look back at 2022, specifically the goals that I made at the beginning of the year, and just kind of reflecting and going over and seeing how did I do? Did I accomplish any goals? Is there goals that I think were definitely unachievable? I don't know, you name it. We're just gonna drink some tea. I have my tea here. This mug is, I believe it's from Tuesday morning. I'll have to try to find out. And then also the lipstick I am wearing is the Milani matte lipsticks in Desire. And I'm also trying out some lashes, and just I felt getting a little glam, although I have like my cozy sweater on. But yeah, so let's drink some tea and let's take a look back on my 2022 goals and see how I did.
Now, if you are brand new to my channel, I have Crohn's disease. Now, it's not something I talk about a whole lot just because I want to focus on good stuff and I want to bring positivity into the world with my channel. However, I also want to be very real. So there's been, previous vlogs where, I found myself in the hospital just to show you the truth of what battling with this disease is. I don't think it's a disease that is talked a whole lot about. Maybe I'm hoping that could change, soon, and hopefully we can find a cure. Unfortunately, there is no cure for it. There's just only ways to get it into remission.
And that honestly hasn't changed either, at least that I've heard of.
There's a lot of things that cause, issues with my health. There's so many different symptoms, and one of them is actually weight loss. And, I could hear it now where it's like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky you don't gain weight, da, 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 da.
And honestly, like, that whole feeling is like hasn't really changed in regards to like my weight. And I feel like I've definitely gotten better mentally about like accepting the whole fact that I'm just gonna fluctuate on weight, and I just try to be more mindful on my diet and trying to actually like eat more, and also be more intentional with some of the things I eat. I'm not the best at it. I can totally admit that, because like sometimes like Jordan and I eat out a lot, and fast food is not always the best for you. And so I like, in terms of my mindset on my weight loss and like how much my weight does fluctuate, that hasn't changed. But I think just maybe like my body, my physical like health, and my physical, what am I trying to say? My attitude towards it has gotten a little bit more positive, but like I'd still struggle with the whole weight loss thing.
I want to gain weight for health reasons, not necessarily because
So I guess kind of touching base on the fact that like my goal was to gain weight, and honestly I didn't gain weight and I haven't been able to keep it, but that is something that I'm going to struggle with. I do think I've gotten a lot healthier in terms of like the fact that I do exercise a lot. I'm definitely, working on my diet, and also it's like my attitude towards it as well. So, did I actually gain weight and keep it? No. So, I mean, on paper, obviously, like did I gain weight? The answer is no, but I'm like okay with that, and I'm starting to like really accept that fact. And like if I'm at least trying, like looking at my diet and working out and being physical and being physically active is what I'm trying to say, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. So
I wanted to increase my weightlifting. I do just simple. I have a kettlebell that's 15 pounds. I have resistance bands, and I want to.
So the increase on weightlifting was really good in the beginning of the year, and then once the wedding stuff hit and the fact that we moved out of the apartment, that definitely went downhill. And it's both Jordan, my husband's and I's goal is to get back to weightlifting, and we have a really good space in the garage that we are wanting to set up for that. So stay tuned for that coming in a future vlog.
I want to cook more, which we have done a lot, especially especially with the whole wedding stuff, and we are paying for our wedding for the most part.
Yeah. Okay, so cook more. We actually did cook more, especially in the apartment. And then when we were staying at my in-laws, we did definitely cook more there as well, and like you did more family meals. And then coming into here with the moving and setting things up, it was kind of a whirlwind, so we kind of put that on the back burner a little bit. We did like still cook, but what I'm trying to say with like the cook more is like try new recipes, get some more recipes in arson, and also add in more vegetables and fruit and not just be meat and carbs. And it's getting a little bit more well-rounded in that. And I would probably give myself like a B when it comes to like cook more.
Which I'll get into later with regards to the house. I would love a big kitchen so I can cook more and also share recipes with you. That is another thing of mine, but again, I'll get more into that later.
So actually, you've kind of seen that if you have seen some of my previous vlogs, is that we have started incorporating cooking more. And I didn't get a massive kitchen in this house, but I did get a more open kitchen, open concept kitchen. Definitely a lot more room than we've had in the apartment. And honestly, stay tuned for 2023 because I think we're going to be doing a lot more recipe stuff, and I'm really excited about that. So I would probably, it definitely occurred more at the end of the year than it did like throughout the entire year of the whole trying new recipes and getting a better kitchen and things like that. So that's where we're at with that.
Get a new doctor for Crohn's.
So I did get a new doctor for Crohn's disease. I got a new gastroenterologist, if I'm saying that correctly. But my experience has definitely been not the best with my doctors, including this new one, although this new one is definitely a lot better. And it's just very frustrating, and I could go into a whole tangent about this healthcare system. I definitely go into a lot on the Get Ready With Me I did, talking about when I had to stay in the hospital. And I met this new GI at that during that particular visit, and he was definitely very helpful. However, I'm like still not on medication, and I haven't really had a whole lot of communication with him except for things that like just things that don't make sense to me. And so I'm working on it. I did technically accomplish that goal of getting a new GI, but I think this is just going to be a long process, and it's just going to take time and patience. Granted, I was diagnosed in 2020, and so it's been a couple of years of me trying to figure this out. Luckily, I've been really good. I haven't really had too many problems that have gotten out of hand. Luckily, thank the Lord for that. But I think it's just going to be a work in progress, and of course I will keep you guys along and keep you updated on that.
My goal is to make time to slow down. I'm constantly go, go, go. I've just always been that way. I don't like sitting still. I like to constantly be doing stuff.
So in terms of the goal of trying to slow down and, dare I say, relax, I'm just one of those people where I have a hard time doing that. I know that's not healthy, and it probably doesn't help with my Crohn's disease. I probably give myself like a C. Like I was pretty average about that. I mean, granted, I was planning a wedding, and then we bought a house, and we had to move like multiple times. And so there was a lot of stressful circumstances. But I'm actually learning to do that more, especially with the fact that I'm reading more, and I'm creating more of a nighttime routine where I, sit down and read. And that is my portion where I slow down. That's where I relax. I like to say it with quotes. I'm still figuring that out, but I would say overall I give myself a C, and I'm definitely figuring out things that are like new things that are, alleviating my stress level, especially just with a lot of personal stuff that's been going on, and trying to tackle all these new things that have hit me at once in the past couple of months, between the move and my parents coming to town and then setting things up and trying to just kind of balance everything. And, I'm trying and learning, but I'm also kind of redefining things that help me relax. Like me playing soccer is actually a de-stressor and actually helps me relax, which is funny because it's an actual active, very active activity. So it's I guess that's what works for me. You know what? Got to do whatever works for you, right?
The other thing is I want to be in my Bible more.
So right there, I kind of like skipped a little bit, but my next goal was read more and get into my Bible more. And I have definitely accomplished that. If you haven't seen my 2022 like book reviews, it's a video going over all of the books that I have read this year. And my actual number goal, I had this written down, was to read 12 books. And I actually hit 11 and I'm working on 12. I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish that 12th by the end of December. But the fact that I did that much was actually really surprising. And I'm definitely a lot more excited about reading. And I have like this whole list of books that I want to keep adding. So yeah, if you have any recommendations, leave them down in the comments. I would really appreciate that because I'm open to reading, and I definitely am one of those people that doesn't want to stop learning, and reading is a great way to do that. So I definitely accomplished that aspect. For getting to my Bible more, I've 100% done that. I would give myself an A, and we are now like consistently going to church, and I have strengthened my faith a lot more, and it has brought me so much peace. I'll just say that. And I know if you're not really religious, or if you believe in your own thing, that's fine. That's you, and would do whatever works for you. And for me, that's just what works for me and has brought me so much peace. So I have accomplished that for sure, and I'm really happy I've accomplished that. And I also look forward to 2023 of expanding on that more as well.
Moving on to financial. The first goal of mine is to create a plan to tackle debt.
So I have actually kind of done a makeshift plan. I have definitely paid down a lot of debt that I've had, and I'm really excited and happy about that. I mean, it's still a long process. I'm still not quite where I want to be, but I'm working on it. I've definitely accomplished a lot in terms of that. And that has been definitely a game changer. Again, I'm not really out of the woods, but I think I've done a decent job of making sure that I kind of avoid going deeper into that. I'm not perfect at it, and it's just that's another thing that I'm really wanting to work on, which I'll talk more in my 2023 goals video, which subscribe and stay tuned for that. That'll be coming really soon. It's it's something that definitely weighs on me, and I'm working really hard to make sure to get that paid off as quickly as possible. So I would give myself a B in terms of like a plan. It's definitely more like a makeshift plan, kind of a come as I go kind of a thing. So yeah, so I technically did accomplish it. I haven't completed and taken away my debt. I'm not completely debt free, but I did a really good job of making sure I got rid of a lot of my debt.
Next one in terms of finances is to save more.
So I did not do this. I will be very honest. I was on a roll, especially in the beginning of the year. I was on a roll, and then a lot of things have come up where I've had to dive into that emergency savings, and I have, it's not where I want to be. Let's put it that way. And it's just, that's also part of like doing the plan. If I actually maybe did a plan, I would have probably been able to save more. And so unfortunately, I did not accomplish that, but it is what it is. And I can only just try to do better in the future. So
save more as well as sell more.
So the sell more is like I have a Poshmark, which I'll link down below, as well as an Etsy store of items I have created. Again, I'll link that down below as well. And I definitely did sell more. Is it where I want to be? No. So I did technically accomplish it. And I think I just need to come up with a better plan on like tackling these goals and doing tasks, like specifically like the save more and sell more of like, okay, something that's actually tangible, a task that I can actually complete to accomplish that particular goal. And I think that's where I'm struggling and with the goals, with my yearly goals. So it's just, I technically did sell more, but I think for me to feel like I did it and like accomplished that goal, it should have been way more. So that I wouldn't give myself a good grade for that one.
We do want to buy a house. We kind of want this to be like our last apartment, and because we love this apartment, it's not.
Well, in terms of finances, we did buy a house, so I did definitely accomplish that. And we really love this house. We really like it. I think it's a great starter home. Is it our forever house? No. But I think it's a great house for us to get on our feet and to build our family.
That is being more picky on purchases.
Being more picky on purchases. So when it comes to like clothing, I've definitely gotten a lot more picky, and I've gotten better about just returning things that don't work. And like a lot of times I would, just because of the sewing skills I have and tailoring skills I have, sometimes what happens is like, oh, if I just like tailor it and like fix it, it'll work. There are some things I could absolutely do that if it's super simple. But to me, if I'm already spending a ton of money on it and I'm having then go in and take it apart and then put it back together, it's like, was that really a wise investment? And that's half the time it's not. If I'm having to tailor it like extensively, going in and like ripping it apart, putting it back together, that's not really a wise investment. And so I'm definitely have gotten better at, look, if it doesn't fit me at all and it's not something where it's like a simple fix or anything like that, that I just return it, because I can spend that time tailoring, like I can spend that time actually making something that fits me perfectly and is exactly what I want, instead of fixing something that I have bought. You know what I mean? So in clothing wise, I've definitely gotten a lot more particular. And then with makeup in the beginning of the year, I kind of went a little nuts. So my collection has definitely grown, but I'm definitely getting better at being a little more particular about that, as well as like not trying to get too much caught up in like, oh, it's new, I must need it right now, I must try it right now, which, don't get me wrong, I get super tempted a lot of the time with that, especially with, you know, this becoming my job and like reviewing makeup is one of the aspects of it. It definitely gets hard, but I don't want this massive like collection where I just end up wasting products. You know what I mean? So I've definitely gotten better about that. I would give myself like an A- in regards to that. And also, you know, that goes into the other part of the finances where, you know, not trying to tackle my debt and also try not to get further into debt. So I think I did a pretty good job with that.
Friendships, I have definitely been one where I'm a little bit more shy, more timid. I'm not as
Okay, so talking about friendships is that to like reach out more, to not to be as shy and reclusive, and try not to be more like a little more assertive of like trying to hang out with friends and trying to spend more time with them. I have like, there's been some things that have gone on throughout the year where there's been just ups and downs with friendships, and that just tends to happen. So, you know, there were moments where I definitely went back to being very reclusive and just kind of tried to like be by myself. And, you know, obviously in regards to like my husband, that's not like, that's a different category, but just like my friendships in general, I have definitely tried, and like I've done the attempts, but have I like fully accomplished like me just being fully comfortable with that? No, but I think that's just going to be, again, a work in progress kind of a thing. And I have improved on it for sure, and just having, and also not being afraid to have those like tough conversations with friends, and just being, and also in those conversations being a lot more assertive, and then on top of it, giving other people grace and giving myself grace. And yeah, but I think just with a lot, like with everything that happened this past year, a lot of change has happened with me personally. Like, you know, I got married and I got a house, and now we're, you know, I have this whole new life. And so I think a lot of my friends have given me grace as well, but is it where I thought I was gonna probably be at the end of the year? Probably not in terms of that, but it's honestly, it's definitely getting better, and I'm really happy about that.
For me, I want to, change my mindset more on the social media stuff and like look at more of to have a goal of posting, have a goal of commenting, have things like that instead of be like I want X amount of followers, I want X amount, all that. Like I feel like having attainability or not having.
Okay, so talking about like social media, and my goal was to like post a certain amount of YouTube videos, certain amount of Instagram posts, and comment and like and be a little bit more active. And I would give myself like a B in terms of that. I've definitely gotten a lot more consistent on YouTube, and well as, and but as not as much as like on Instagram. And so that's why I give myself a B, and I think I've done a decent job of that. And yeah, so that's all I gotta say about that. Like it's just gonna be a work in progress, but I definitely agree with myself back then, and like especially knowing what I know now, the whole like having X amount of followers, X amount of likes, X amount of X, like that. I think yeah, because honestly, like if I had that mindset now, I think I would be even more. I would definitely be like depressed about it. I definitely would not be motivated. And I think for me, focusing on like tasks that I can actually accomplish, I think is where I need to have my focus, and then everything else will fall into place. And focusing on doing quality and not necessarily quantity as well.
The other thing is I want to post for me and not for anyone else. I don't want to post just to post. New picture to like my makeup.
Oh, I agree. And like I'm right now, that's where like my head is at. Is I want to post just to post. I enjoy creating content. I enjoy creating videos. It's tapped a whole other side of creativity in me that I haven't really tapped a whole lot, at least not in years. And so that has gotten me really inspired and really excited and passionate about content creating.
In terms of sewing, it might be more for later in the year, just with everything going on with the wedding, where I, get back into sewing and want to sell more. Again, that ties into my other goal. But the other thing is I definitely think I need to go through my material again and really just donate the ones that I just will not, like, I'm not going to use it. Like,
so I have not done that. Well, no, I did do that when we moved, and I definitely did a little bit, but I didn't do like extensive. It was more of like just quickly because we had to move fairly quickly. So it was just more of like quick decisions, am I or am I not, and then get that out the door. I definitely did not get back into sewing. That is definitely my goal at the beginning of the year, which I'll talk about more. That is like priority. That is priority for sure, because I miss it, and it's one thing that I really enjoyed. I mean, I went to school for it. Like I didn't like, it's definitely something I miss, and that is another thing where it helps me relax. Yet I'm doing something, but it does help me relax and help me de-stress from, everyday life. And so I definitely did not accomplish sewing more, especially at the end of the year, but I was happy like to sew again, like especially when I was making some gifts for some friends, and making stuff for like the wedding. I was like super in my element. I was really excited to do it. So I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to it at the end of this year, but there's more motivation for me to make sure I accomplish it next year.
The other thing is being more willing to delegate.
I have gotten a lot better about that. But for the longest time, and I think it's just because I've gotten married, I think you turn into a partnership, and that's one thing Jordan and I have definitely agreed on, is that we are partners. And so I have learned to delegate, and he has also learned to delegate a little bit, and we're becoming partners, and I'm I'm definitely a lot better at that. But when it comes to certain things, I'm like, no way, Jose. Like, no way are you touching that. Like, I ain't got to do it. So I'm definitely a lot better at that. And then again, that's another like just personal growth thing that I'll just have to keep working at. And also just And it's just, it'll get better as time goes on. And so, yeah, I've definitely gotten better at that.
This next goal is straight up be bold. Be bold.
Be bold. Yeah, I definitely have gotten a lot better about that. I wear what I want to wear. If I want to have blue and green eyeshadow on, I have blue and green eyeshadow on. Am I where I want to be in terms of that? No, because that's just it's a slow progress thing for me, unfortunately. But the fact that like I'm wearing like brown lipstick and I had lashes on, but they just completely did not stick. I think they were just too big, so I have to trim them. That's just a whole other thing. But wearing what I want to wear and doing what I want to do, and like for example, like last weekend, this vlog will already be up, was where we went down to Grapevine and I was vlogging, and I kept getting weird looks from like my in-laws, but it's just like I want to vlog, like I want, like this was really pretty. I don't include them, like, you know, just to respect their privacy. I want to vlog my adventures, and like going next year we're going to be doing some traveling, and I plan on vlogging those trips. So I'm definitely going to be bold and like, look, this is what I want to do, and I'm not going to include you in it. But yeah, I want to capture these moments and these memories, and this is how I want to do it. And just also wearing what I want to wear, and not, you know, it's one of those things is not caring if it's not someone, if for me, like if I see something and it's not my style, I'd be like, oh, look, I appreciate your confidence. It's just not something I would wear. Like my mom and I have completely opposite styles, and so she like sent me stuff. She's like, what do you think of that? And I was like, I think it looks nice on you, but it's not particularly my style. And I asked like, well, what do you feel about it? And that's how I like approach it. And like I wish like a lot more people would do that, because it's like everyone has their own style, everyone has their own taste, and everyone has their own dreams and goals that they want to accomplish. And you know, as long as you're not harming anybody, like why does it matter? So I'm working on that, and I think I did a pretty decent job with that, because I did get bolder with some of the things I wanted to do, and I'm definitely getting more comfortable with like filming and vlogging and just things like that. So I give myself a B, and I'm hoping that, you know, going forward I can maybe say I can give myself an A. So
is, you know, learning Dutch, and that's just something that's really
I definitely didn't know that. I want to really bad. It is, yeah, if you are new here, my family heritage is Dutch Indonesian, and my grandparents immigrated here from the Netherlands in the 60s, and my dad was born here, so I guess I'm second generation immigrant. I don't know exactly how that works. I always mix it up. But my grandparents were originally born in Indonesia, then emigrated to the Netherlands, and then came here. And I'm a history nerd, so I like learning about my history, my personal history, or just history in general. And it's one I want to get more in tuned in, especially since my grandfather passed away 6 years ago, it'll be almost 7 years ago. And ever since then, it's like I want to make sure I'm in tuned with that part of my life, that culture, and because I want to teach those things to my kids and those traditions to my kids. And so that is definitely another thing that I want to have as a priority, and, you know, just use Duolingo and just doing it for 15 minutes while I'm like cooking or something, you know. And there are ways that I could definitely accomplish it, and there are ways that I could have accomplished it this past year. It just, honestly, it didn't happen. And so that is a priority of mine, and I will eventually get fluent in it. And also German is also one as well, because my husband is also German. So it's like learning different languages, learning different traditions that I want to teach my kids to learn about so they know about their history and they're in tune with their history. And of course, we're also American, so learning things like that, learning those traditions as well. Just being overall a lot more cultured, I think, is what Jordan and I, being a lot more cultured is what our goal is. And yeah, so that's been on my goal list for a few years now, and I just haven't accomplished it, but that is, you know, I'm going to work on it. So those are that was the review of my 2022 goals and did I accomplish it or not. Yeah, overall I'd give myself like a B plus. Like it's not where I want it to be. Like, granted, there's some things I'm like super happy about. The fact that I'm like married now and we are in a house and we're starting this life, and it's just that is just astounding to me. And then some of the other things, like some career stuff has, gone positively. And so overall, 2022 was not horrible. Was it my absolute best year? I would say, like, kinda, because there's good things that happened, but there's also bad things that happened. Then I'm like not like, I'm not gonna like want to remember about 2022. You know what I mean? Like, it's like bittersweet. 2022 was bittersweet. That is the best way to put it, honestly. I am definitely looking forward to 2023, but let me know down below your thoughts on today's video, as well as what were your 2022 goals and did you accomplish them? Or were you like me, where you're like, it's bittersweet? Or was it like you accomplished everything and just was a trooper and did went above and beyond? I wish I could say that, but it was not the case this year, but maybe next year. So yeah, let me know down below if your thoughts, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for new videos every single week. I really appreciate when you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And we are growing a little family over here on YouTube, and I'm so excited about it, of this community I am building. And if you are new, I hope you would like to be a part of it. And also follow me on Instagram. It is @FromHemToStem for more day-to-day, like up-to-date updates with me. I'm trying to post on stories more, as well as some reels and just normal photo posts, which honestly I prefer on Instagram, but that's a whole other debate. Yeah, thank you again for watching, and subscribe and stay tuned for 2023 goals, though that'll be coming very soon. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.